Hey, welcome back. Today's Convicted is something that I just did the other day, and you know, it makes me feel better to think that you may do the exact same silly thing that I did. Let me explain what I did. I put ballistic performance in front of precision and tuning in my load development for the 284. And I've been doing this for a while. Don't get me wrong. I just typically go to my known tune speed for my design of rifle and start from there, make little tweaks and make it shoot. But that's not necessarily the best way to load develop. And it showed its ugly head to me with a barrel that I just brought back onto the gun that had been off for a while. So for the 284, I typically start by matching my known tune speed from previous barrels. It's a shortcut that I take that has been successful for me for the most part. Now, I shoot a slightly out of tune gun on a regular basis, so it doesn't hurt my scores terribly. But competition is getting so stiff that you need everything you can get out of the rifle, and I wasn't getting all of it. In this case, I had a barrel that had been off the rifle for a while I was testing a different barrel, and I cleaned it all the way to bare steel. When I put it back on, it was a little slower than it had been before. The magic of removing the carbon fouling inside the barrel. Now, mind you, when you do this to a barrel, it will never speed back up. That's not the way this works. When you slow a barrel down by cleaning it, it's permanently slower. That's what I've found. It's been 4 or 5 barrels that I've done this with and found the same thing over and over again. You'd think I'd learn my lesson eventually. I will eventually, and start a different cleaning regimen from the beginning of the barrel so we don't have this problem. So this barrel slowed down so much that I had to add powder to some uncomfortable levels to get the velocity back. And I need to get out to Rattlesnake next weekend to shoot a match. So I need this barrel to shoot. So I took it to a 600-yard match and shot the charges that would result in the velocities that I needed, or thought I needed. And that's where my foul up became apparent. I shot sequential charges 2/10 apart, one for each relay, to see which one shot the best and make sure that I hit the velocity I was aiming for. When I got all done, I was allowed to fire a few rounds with a chronograph and found out one simple truth, and that is that the speed that I thought I wanted to make the rifle tune and get the performance that I wanted out of the rifle, well, that charge didn't shoot as well as one just a little lower. Now we're talking a few tenths of a grain of powder, which is only a few feet per second. But I realized that I had this attitude that I had to get every foot a second I could out of my tune, load at the top of the tune window all the time, to ensure that I got all the ballistic performance I could out of the rifle. I know from having done calculations and simulations of this very thing for my patrons that that's not the case. You need a rifle that shoots tight, not one that shoots fast. It's a precision match, not a drag race. And I screwed that up in my head. So I'm gonna have to reevaluate how I do my load development on all my barrels, and whether the decisions I've made on load development in the past were discolored by my bias toward the higher velocities. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Until next time, shoot straight. Make sure you check your assumptions, and I'll see you in the next video.